Hello, it is Tuesday, January 19th, 2010. This is the first video of the new year. So about our song. Are we counting that as our writing for December or for December and January? Because, for me, doing a creative writing just, I can do that in a shorter time period than you can do a song, which it legitimately takes longer. And so my proposal, which really is more beneficial to you, is that you get credit for both December and January, and I'll just get credit for December, and then I've got a third of a month to write something, which would be good for me. So anyway, that's all I want to do about that. So just let me know what you'd like to do. If you want to write another song, hey, more power to you. I'd love to hear another song. But I also understand, you've got school, you've got dinner theater coming up, you've got, plenty of stuff on your plate. I've got plenty of stuff on mine, so you can do what you want. It's up to you. Now, I had my first English 1304, which is my English Comp 2 class, today. My teacher seems pretty cool. He's another doctoral candidate. He has really ugly teeth. Anyway, like Liverpoolian teeth. It's bad. So, I am going to read you my first homework assignment because I'm a little bit curious about how you'd answer this. Because I have really no idea what to write right now. Because this seems a little bit too dumb for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little bit... I've done English AP, so I've already done crap way harder than this. But, I am curious about what you'd say. And anybody else who watches, I also would love to hear your opinion. I'm not going to say that I'm going to try to base my opinion off of yours for when I turn in this assignment, but, it's kind of nice to see the kinds of things that people are saying, because I really just have no idea what to say. It'll make more sense after I read it. While traveling on business, your spouse, whom you love, is involved in a plane crash over the Pacific Ocean. It is assumed that everyone aboard has died. For the next 7 months, you quietly mourn. But then the unbelievable happens. It turns out your spouse has survived. He or she managed to swim to a desert island, where he or she lived in relative comfort with one other survivor. They miraculously located most of the aircraft's supplies on the beach, and the island itself was filled with ample food sources. Against all odds, they have just been discovered by a Fijian, I forget how to say that, Fijian, I don't know, a fishing boat from Fiji. The two Japanese, we'll go with that. The two survivors returned home via helicopter, greeted by the public as media sensations. Immediately upon their arrival, there is an international press conference, and during this press conference, you cannot help but notice how sexy the other survivor is. Physically, he or she perfectly embodies the type of person your mate is normally attracted to. Moreover, the intensity of the event has clearly galvanized a relationship between the two crash victims. They spend most of the interview explaining how they could not have survived without the other person's presence. They explain how they pass the time by telling anecdotes from their respective lives, and both admit to having virtually given up on the possibility for rescue. At the end of the press conference, the two survivors share a tearful goodbye hug. It's extremely emotional. After the press conference, you are finally reunited with your spouse. He or she embraces you warmly and kisses you deeply. How long do you wait before asking if he or she was ever unfaithful to you on this island? Do you never ask? And if your soulmate's answer is yes, if your mate's answer is yes, would that, under these specific circumstances, be acceptable? At this point, I really have no idea what I want to answer. So anybody who watches, Marina, please, tell me what you think. I don't want to say anything that's on my mind right now, just because I don't want to affect anything anybody thinks right off the bat. So, other viewers, put it in a comment, send me a Facebook message, whatever, and let me know what you think. I'm very curious. It's a weird it's a weird question. Questions, I guess. So let me know. Oh, and I want to tell you the story about my grade. My life is so good right now. As it turns out, like, I went to my voice lesson teacher today. My voice teacher, Dr. Jones. And we were talking about things, blah, blah. And I explained that I eventually got to me telling him that I was taking 18 hours this semester, which is a lot for a freshman, but I can handle it. Which is also 6 more hours than I took last semester. So he was like, well, so do you mean you think it'd be fine? I was like, yeah, I mean, I did okay last semester, and I didn't really like struggle with 12 at all. So I think, it'll make me drive more with 18. And he said, well, that's good. So, I mean, how did your grades go? I was like, well, they went really well. I got just 1 A minus and the rest were A's. And he said, oh, so close. What was the A minus? And I was like, voice lessons? He was like, what? I was like, yeah, you gave me an A minus. He's like, why? I was like, I don't know. He's like, I was like, maybe it's because I got an A minus on my jury. And he said, oh no, that shouldn't have done it because you went to all the practicums, right? I was like, I missed one practicum, which is our little Friday class. I missed one. And he said, and you went to all the TVRs, right? All the Thursday voice recitals. And I said, yeah. And he said, then you should have an A in this class. He's like, you went to 18 hours of studio class, right? Yeah, I went every week, 2 hours. So it's about 30. He's like, then why do you have an A minus? And then he looked it up, and sure enough, I was supposed to have an A. Which means I have a 4.0. I don't know how it happened, but out of nowhere, I have a 4.0. I'm very excited. It is probably the best first day of school I've had in a long time. So, pretty sweet deal. Anyway, I need to find time to go buy textbooks. I was hoping to go have dinner with my friend Chuck tonight. And God, I'm just tired. My room is boiling hot. I guess not boiling, it's not liquid, but it's very hot. I'm gonna try to go find stuff to do outside of my room. Anyway, tell me your responses, let me know about the challenge, and stay in school, don't do drugs.